Hello and welcome to Lobajit Gaming and welcome to another first Descendant video. So time to have a look at what's coming in November in episode 2 of season 3. Also wanted to do a bit of a recap of season 3 episode 1 and talk about a little bit of the frustration of the community, what I feel are the main reasons for that and what potentially the devs could do to fix the problem. Now November will start with a new episode, basically new story. So we should be continuing the story with Nell, Alpha, and things like that. We are getting Ancestor mode, so this is something very interesting. We don't really have much to go on, but I'm very curious to see what this is because we're also getting a module trading system. Now, module trading, I think, is only for the Ancestor modules. Again, very little information at the moment. We don't even know what these modules will do, how much more power they're going to add, what will happen, how rare they are. Because if it's something to be traded, I'm assuming it's going to be very, very rare. And to get like good rolls on it will be even rarer. So, like for example, at the moment, um, I have some very good trigger modules, but I still don't have anything with like perfect double gold rolls. I got a very, very good Storm Bullet for Sharon. Power Beyond, I have a decent one with 15, but the second half of it, I don't really care. And I got a really good one for Enzo with the tactical acceleration with like, I think, a 12-second duration. And again, the second part wasn't great. Same for Wave Eruption. I have one part which is decent, one not. Anyway, the point is, it's not easy to get perfect rolls, and I assume the trading would involve people looking for that perfect roll. So if you get a second one with perfect rolls, you could trade that and get something in return. I'm not expecting it to be a caliber trade, just to manage my expectations. But if they do add a caliber trade, they could potentially have a in-game economy like a lot of other games, and that should help the game massively, especially with the constant complaints of extra skins being added and stuff like that. I think it could help mitigate those things if something like this takes off and does well. So I think this is like the most important thing that's coming besides the regular stuff, because this could help long term if it works out, if they work at it and refine it and get it to a point where it is handy and convenient and people just log in to farm some caliber and the trade the caliber and the modules and buy skins with that. It could have a nice economy, and of course the game could benefit from that as well. The devs could have a small cut, Steam gets something, and so on. Anyway, that's again, we'll see how that pans out. But again, I'm starting with low expectations. So these two should be interesting. We have the story. We have a new collaboration, which is, of course, Bayonetta. They've already revealed that. Void Vessel, Supermassive Receptor Dungeon, so another big dungeon. We have a new Descendant, normal Descendant. We have Harris, and we have a new sword, Hypernova. Now, already, if we see what the pattern is and the frustrations of the community, the Supermassive Dungeon is probably going to be the place where we are farming for Harris, for the Hypernova, for the modules, and so this could lead to a similar situation that we have with the swords. Hopefully it's not as bad, because Nell and the two bikes in action was not as bad as the swords, so hopefully the drop rates and things are better in this void if they choose to put everything in this new massive dungeon, unless they sort of split it out and have things in Axion in this dungeon and a few other places. I think it would be better if they had parts dropping from two places. So, for example, with Harris, maybe the parts could drop in the dungeon and in Axion place. Maybe just keep the sword for the dungeon, so you are trying to get Harris and you're getting a few parts for the sword as well in the meantime. Things like that. So we shall see. Hopefully they have learned their lesson with this recent situation. So yeah, so this is the November content. Not bad, but I'm really hoping this trading system takes off. And then we have December. Now December, we have Ultimate Eugen, we have Forbidden Sanctuary Dungeon, another Void Abyss. This is probably not going to be as big as the Supermassive because it doesn't say anything about the size. And then we have the Void Abyss Battle Grim Reaper, and we have Launch 2.0. Again, not too much information at the moment for these things. Launch 2.0, the only thing I know is that it is going to add the co-op feature, so you can invite your friends and show your figurines that are displayed. I think that maybe they might add something else, maybe more rooms for displaying things, more weapon display racks or whatever. But yeah, again, we'll have to see when they have a dev stream or something and show us these things. Eugene and Eugene's story is going to be interesting. I can already anticipate people complaining about why Eugene is getting an ultimate before Haley and stuff like that. So we shall see. The other curious thing is, if you notice, the Void Intercept battle is coming in December. So there is no Intercept battle, at least they haven't mentioned it here, in November, which is a bit strange because if you look at the past seasons, when season 2 started, we got Keelan, Sharon, those people, and we got the Infernal Walker. Then we got the Defiler in the middle of the next month. I think I can't remember when Defiler got added. Then we had the 2 in episode 2. Can't even remember what it was. The Tormentor, and we had Ice Maiden. And now with this one, we had the Stormhanger and the Lava Citadel. So it seems we are only getting one Abyss Colossus, and if it's only one, they could have added it up in November and have the boss available for 3 months. Or maybe what they're doing is they're adding this in early December so that people have 2 months to farm this. Anyway, we shall see. So yeah, so that is the first thing. We have only one Abyss, and also look at the weapon. We only have one sword, no guns, nothing. Of course, there might be something in the battle pass. So again, this is probably not the full picture. We'll usually have a battle pass games. They haven't mentioned all of those things here, just the main important things here. So yeah, so let's see what happens. And then of course, they haven't mentioned what is coming in January, because again, the third month is the problem in these seasonal updates. Again, all the way back to season 1, initially they had Haley, Deathstalker, Ultimate Freyna in the first 3 months, and then there was a bit of backlash. People like Moxie, for example, they said we don't like the drip feed and stuff like that, and the devs responded by combining the 3 updates into 2. So what happened was we got Haley up front, then we got Freyna and the Deathstalker. So the result was we got the 3 updates compressed into 2, and then the third month, November of last year, was again a bit dry. Next season after that, we got Sharon, Ultimate Sharon, Keelan, Void Vessel, Dog, Voltia, all of that in December. And so December was packed. January became Ines and Void Erosion Purge. So January was okay. And then what happened was February month, and we only got Void Erosion Purge 21 to 30. And again, that time it was not fun because that was the only bit of content. And even I made a video of being critical of it. So the third month seems to be their weakness. And then we have the Serena update, and again we had the same issues, but this time we had to extend because of the delay to development of season 3, and they wanted to change things and blah, blah, blah. So anyway, right now we are in October, and we only have the Void Vessel and the Swords to grind, and as a result, people are a little frustrated because they have padded out the grind quite a bit, and this was probably done to again wrap up the season, and there isn't much else being added this season, along with the Korean holidays where they were off for 9 or 10 days, so they could not patch anything for the middle week after launch, and as a result, this caused a lot of frustration in the community. The player numbers dropped, people are checking out other games, etc., etc. A lot of things behind the scenes, obviously, but it just leads to this frustration within the community. So basically what I'm trying to do is prepare you for the dry month of January, because they're not going to have the season in 2 months and then have a new season starting January. What they could do to ease this is maybe bring the season back, like cut down the third month, launch the new season like a week or so earlier. The months where they have a lot of content, let's say November, they can make this a little longer so it runs into December, so a week into December, and then the December content runs a week into January, and then season 4 is launched a little earlier, like instead of 13 weeks, make it 12 weeks. So that final month doesn't feel as empty, let's say, as this one is feeling right now. So yeah, so they need to sort of consider a few things here. But yeah, Overall, I think I also wanted to briefly mention the season so far, and I think I kind of covered it already. You can see the first month is loaded with content. Second month is okay, was a bit drier this time, but we still had Out of Luna. And October, we kind of ended up with not enough content, which leads to frustration and things like that. Now, of course, part of the reason I feel is also because a lot of other big games are coming out, so they probably did not want to put too much content, knowing that people will be playing other games. So again, that's the whole gaming industry thing. But yeah, over here, um, it looks okay. I'm okay. I think as long as they keep adding Descendants, it's always fun to see a new Descendant, farm the Descendant, build the Descendant, try out different modules. I think that is the thing that I enjoy the most. So as long as we have regular Descendants being added, so we have Ultimate Eugene here, we have Paris in November, and then of course they'll be reworking the Descendants. I'm pretty sure Haley should get a rework in November, maybe December, because who else is remaining right now? Most others have had a look. So Eugene is coming in December, so it wouldn't make sense for them to rework Eugene for November. So almost certainly Haley should be getting a rework in November, and because she does need a full rework, just a buff with the numbers isn't going to help. Fundamentally, her kit needs to be adjusted a little bit to make it easier to mob with her. But yeah, that is the video. I really do hope this module system works out. And even if it doesn't at launch, I hope they keep at it and keep working at it and maybe tweaking it so that it becomes an interesting feature of the game. And yeah, I hope it gives that spark back to the community, because there is a lot of frustration built up within the player base and a lot of doom and gloom with the game is dying and there's nothing to do and stuff like that. So yeah, hopefully they add something, some mechanic, which isn't like constant new update, but it is engaging and interesting enough that can keep people playing. And I think this is potentially something that can do that. We shall see. Anyway, that's it for this one. Thank you for watching. Let me know your thoughts as well, and see you in the next one.